Good evening. Welcome to another cast of VRML Breachers. Today we'll have an exciting game between Stormwatch and the G0D-Squad. My name is Martini. Today I have Yellow Hat in the casting booth with me.
Hey.
How are you doing today, Yellow Hat?
Dude, fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to today's match, and there's definitely a lot to talk about, but I'm excited for another awesome game of Breachers this week. It's been a blast doing all the casts and everything so far, so definitely looking forward to this one.
I know I've been saying like this casting season is probably the most we've ever done. Right? Just shout out to the casting team and all the teams, participating. And I think for the most part being pretty punctual and being very responsive to us. I love seeing the community being involved in the casting side of it. So it's so fun. I mean, I gotta give us credit. I think we did the numbers. We probably, in terms of, I can't say we casted every game because that's, I'm gonna be honest, impossible. But in terms of every day we've casted probably like up to 70-80% of every day. At least one cast from VRML is gonna be out there, which I think is amazing. And just a big credit to all of us. But let's start going into what's gonna be, where we're gonna see between these two teams here, right? We have Stormwatch and a G0D-Squad. Stormwatch, again, I think I talked about them before. I've casted them this season. A team that's been around several seasons now. They have that chemistry in terms of playing together. Apparently they've had some changes in their roster. And then we have G0D-Squad, a little bit newer here, playing only since season 3 here. But still a squad nonetheless here, and it'll be fun to see how these two teams approach it. Apparently they had banned Skyscraper and Arctic. Very interesting choices I had seen here. We can see Stormwatch has okay on Arctic, so maybe it might have been a weak choice there. No one has played Skyscraper yet though, so I'm not quite sure what their matchups there. But I mean, are there anything you expect to see from these two teams today, or anything you hope to see?
Well, I will say, the last time these two teams actually played each other, and I don't know how much of roster changes they've had since last season, but the score was 17-12. G0D-Squad did win on Factory 7-3, and then Stormwatch won Arctic and Hideout 7-3 and 7-2 respectively. So, I mean, we could just be seeing those. I do believe we might actually have a map 1, if I can go ahead and say that. I believe it's going to be Ship. So that'll be interesting if it is actually going to be Ship, because, well, G0D-Squad, if it is Ship, they've played it 4 times, they won it twice. Stormwatch, however, they've played Ship 6 times. They've not won a single time. So, I think we are going to Ship.
Yeah, we'll be going right into Ship pretty soon here as these teams get excited and ready to move on forward here. But before we get started, while we're still in the buy phase here, I did want to give a shout out to one of my personal favorite sponsors, Triangle Factory, for providing us with the game we love and for supporting Season 4 of VRML. And of course, shout out to our other sponsor, HyperX, for offering some great products like the high-quality HyperX Quadcast S. That's always a mouthful, I'm gonna be honest. But they also have great peripherals for computers, So definitely shout out to both of our sponsors. We got to give them so much love because they allow us to kind of keep going forward. And of course, to give some prize money to the season winners, which we know is always exciting for the teams here. But anyways, it looks like we're going to be having G0D-Squad starting out on the defensive side here, as Stormwatch is going to be attacking potentially on the other side here. I wonder, we see it occasionally. I wonder if we're going to see a little turtle match. I always love, whenever I like seeing the turtle play, which is just literally like the 5-man squad turtle walking across the map. And it's always entertaining for me to see. But it looks like we will be seeing Dora the Sniper potentially playing a sniper role here as they play very aggressive on some of these angles.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how G0D-Squad kind of approach their defense here, Are they going to try for some aggressive positioning? Are they just going to kind of play default here? So, Dora on that lurk might cause some serious damage there. We do see the initial breach and the initial plant into B. Tucker and Dora both picking up kills. Soundwave onto the plant. Gets taken out, though. Prime Buzz does find Dora. And now a 1 versus 4 as QuizWiz does get taken out there. Now it's up to the Prime Buzz to try to make things happen, but he's just going to get surrounded, and G0D-Squad are going to take round number 1 there.
I mean, talk about strong defense. 4 players up against none of them alive. I don't know why I was counting as if there's someone alive on the Stormwatch side right now. But 4 players up here. Pretty solid defense we had seen there. We saw Dora the Sniper play very aggressive on the angle, got the pick. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do much more you know, as it got knocked out in the end there. But I mean, I think they might have over-prioritized going for the plant there from Stormwatch, right? They were able to go in, they got the plant, but they lost a player doing that. They didn't have a good hold of a post-plant situation there. And that's something I always think of with these teams, right? It's cool, it's great to get the plant down, you get the extra cash in hand, but is it always worth throwing out a round potentially? And that's where I kind of challenge it. Or maybe if they held certain positions, maybe get a couple more picks before going for the plant, maybe things might have turned out a little bit differently in their favor there. But it was already kind of a rough start in terms of that attacking anyways, as G0D-Sniper, G0D-Sniper really knocked out some of those players in the back end there. And it's just, again, 4 players, just solid defense on that plant site.
Yeah, I mean, especially as the enforcers, your job is to control the pace of the round, and I will give Storm credit for that. You know, they decided to go fast and just blitz the site, get that immediate plant, and try to force the retake situation, but they weren't really set up for a solid post plant, and they, you know, lost the initial gunfights, and that really just kind of caused the round. But you know, here we do see Dora once again getting aggressive, actually taking quite a bit of damage there. Loses almost half their health. Here going to be tagged up there. Alarm's going to be going off, but that's going to be taken out in swift fashion here. So Storm now kind of changing the pace a little bit. Nate's going to be going in for prime. Actually does connect onto Dora there, so a nice, say A tier nade onto Dora there. Maybe S tier. Depends on who you're asking, but nevertheless, EMP going to go down once again. Tucker and Fishy finding kills, Team finding a kill there, Fishy finding another kill, Fira just back and forth, and now we have a 2v2 post-plant situation here. Fishy does not, or Fishy, excuse me, does not have a lot of health there, but Tilo has the full health, so Tilo going to be wanting to bait Pishy here. Pishy going to be needing to make the move, but that time is ticking, and it's not a lot of movement over on the God Squad side, but they need to make something happen here. So again, time ticking. Fira might actually get caught out looking the wrong way. Fishy finds the first kill, then they find the second kill. What? Just like they do. But the question is, do they have the time on the defuse? They get the second tick. They get the third. Just like that. That had to be within a few seconds. Somehow, Fishy on 1 HP, able to get both of those kills with the assist from Tilo there. And God Squad again with a very nice clutch round there, bringing them up 2-0.
Yeah, let me pull out this replay here. I'm not going to lie. I was watching the Stormwatch players. I'd seen how they were holding their positions. I saw what was going on there. I didn't think they'd be able to get the retake here, and I was shocked. I switched off camera here, and somehow, you know, the God Squad players able to scrounge together a win, get the picks, and make it work out in their favor here. And I got to give so much credit to the God Squad defenders right now, because I thought it was I thought it was a wash. I'm not even gonna lie, Yellowhead. I thought it was a wash for them. Stormwatch had, you know, the advantage of way more health, by the way. They had the EMP just planted. It just, everything was working in their favor until it wasn't in the very end. I mean, we saw the God Squad players. It was like, I think 5-10 health between each other, so they barely even survived out that round. But I mean, dang it, both of them did.
I mean, that's not a round that if you're Storm, you really should be losing. And I think one of the players did get caught off timing-wise, which could have, you know, put a wrench into that. But, like, God Squad, they were moving so slow on that retake. They used up so much time. And, I mean, they almost didn't get that defuse, even with getting those kills. So, I mean, you know, props for them for just barely being able to clutch it out there. But even then, I mean, that's insane that you kind of lose that. But, again, we do have a hatch play coming in. Look at this. Fira just gives up the EMP, gives up their life for pretty much no reason. Fishy with the aggressive peek there. You're going to have to try to recover over on the Storm Squad side of things here. But again, I mean, you're trying to take control of the round, and you're letting God Squad just take control of it against you.
Yeah, I mean, Stormwatch getting set up on this other side now. Already down a player. A lot of chip damage, though, there on Prima Buzz, I guess is the best way to word that. But looks like Stormwatch actually switched up the strategy, going in for a switch up here, rotating to the other side now. And we'll have to see if the God Squad players can adjust and be able to work against it. But I think we're going to see G0D-Sniper here ready with the Vezin in hand here as Prima Buzz comes about. I don't know if they caught the end of their gun, but no! Talk about coordination.
I think Soundwave might have just barely spotted either them or Preem must have just barely spotted. So they do bring it back 4 versus 4. But even then, I mean, that rotate gonna be very much broadcasted to the God Squad there. So Quiz looking to try to get into the site here. Jolly Rancher actually going to be trying to enter here. Quiz does have that EMP. Stealing with a bit of a blind fire, but doesn't really catch anything. Jolly Rancher being burnt to a crisp, but gets out of it. Fishy able to somehow get that kill. EMP tries to go down. Does. Crazy Monkey able to get the free pick down. 3 versus 3. Now 3 versus 2 as Crazy Monkey finds a Vezin and gets Preem there. Jolly Rancher now in the corner with 1 HP and a bit of a dream, but gets taken out by Crazy Monkey again. And now Soundwave in a 1 versus 3 situation takes out Crazy. Gets the second player. Hold up. Now all of a sudden it's a 1-on-1, but Tilo going to be saving the day just like that and going to be getting that defuse.
Man, Stormwatch, it's always so close. It's always so close. I mean, check out this almost hero clutch play here as we see this push here by Soundwave going for the swing. Gets the one, I believe, 2K there. Almost securing that third there. And it's just, I see the glimpses, right? I see the glimpses in the Stormwatch players. I see it almost happening there. I think it really just comes down to execution and working together. And again, it's they get the plan. That's the thing. They keep getting these plans. They're just kind of struggling on those post-plan situations. They're not able to defend them correctly and have a bad retake for the God Squad players. But credit to the retaking situation on God Squad. They've been able to adjust very well to Stormwatch here. It's looking, this defense is just looking good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like it's sort of bad in the sense of that they've always allowed Stormwatch to get the plants off, but they always are able to retake too at the same time. So I don't know how to feel about these players at this point.
I mean, I think especially the worrying thing here for Storm is that if you're really kind of screwing up these post plants right now, like, I'm worried about your defense a little bit, and hopefully they prove me wrong and can turn it around over on the defensive side, or maybe even start to get some of these attacking rounds. They'll lock in their post-plant positions, but even then, I mean, just, they've had some decent mid-round calls, going for the rotate, getting the frag onto Dora there. That was really well played by Storm there, but again, it's they go into sight and they're not necessarily totally covering the EMP planter or allowing the EMP planter to get back out of sight. So now we're going to foam the wall over on the B site. Grenade being primed here. A little bit of pre-fire. Jolly Rancher almost catches a bullet to the face there. Alarm goes off. So now it's going to be broadcasted that a B play isn't effective. A nade coming out onto Tucker. And a steer nade coming in for the Green, as that's exactly the entry that Storm needed to get into here. Soundwave going to be taken out the static field. The second static field going to be needing to go down. Crazy Monkey finding Soundwave now. So bringing it back right to a 4v4. Fira finds a lurk on the Dora center, so now they're going to be able to not have to worry necessarily about their flank anymore. They know they've identified the player. Crazy Monkey going to be taken out by Preem, and Fishy gets a refag onto Fira. So 3 versus 2. Still trying to just get into that site. Fishy taking some damage. Fishy getting another kill, but Preem also finding another kill, and just like that, Jolly Rancher puts an end to that. And Storm, they find the answer, and they find their first round, Martin.
Talk about finally getting Stormwatch that win that they finally deserved. I mean, and this is what we're talking about. See this? They didn't plant the EMP immediately, right? They were able to get those picks, slowly take over the site there, and then get the plan in the end there, get the cash anyways. And that's a problem I've always noticed, with some of these teams a little bit throughout the ladder. Sometimes they over-prioritize getting the plan. While the plan is great in a sense of getting yourself the immediate, credits, not immediate, but like credits for the upcoming round, and also forcing the enemy team to have to be in a retake situation. It kind of depends. You need to have everything still lined up and be in a very good position for that planting situation, because how many times have we talked about post-plant situations and strategy, right? Yeah. But we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. I think Stormwatch is cooking. A little slowly, but they are cooking.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, it's good that round they didn't rush the EMP. I mean, compared to the other round where you had the person holding the EMP going through the hatch and trying to entry with the EMP, that's something that you don't really want to do. Thankfully for Storm, the EMP was in a recoverable position, but oh my god, not even a millisecond into the round, and Dora just gets absolutely flattened there by Fira as Storm are gifted a free kill. I mean, that might have just been a pre-fire through the door, and Dora...
I'm 100% sure it was too. There's no way. That or just so like maybe the sound cues might have been a little too obvious for the Stormwatch players here, but you're right. Great start off for the Stormwatch players. This is probably the most decisive advantage we have seen. I think for Stormwatch against God Squad in these last couple rounds, you're having a 5-person advantage off the rip, right? It's not even like it was like 10, like sorry, a minute in a round or a minute and a half or halfway through a round. Literally immediately as the round starts, they already have an advantage.
229, yeah. I mean, that to give up your life like that right at the beginning, I mean, that's some insane business. So Soundwave's gonna be shooting through, getting that. Oh, look at that creep just with these nades today is going on. Tucker catches the explosion, but Soundwave also catching a grenade there. And now the EMP finally gets planted. And now a 4 versus 2 post-plant situation. And Crazy Monkey, not on a lot of HP, even gets tagged up a little bit more there. They do have a stim, but it's still currently on red right now, so they're going to have to wait for it if they want to use it to try to recover. But, you know, that time is slowly ticking on that EMP, and, you know, the post-plant situation, I mean, Quiz and Fira, they're both literally right on the bomb. I mean, good luck, especially with that angle that Quiz has. You better be ready for that. But I think Crazy Monkey and Teal are just going to save here. They've recognized that, hey, this is not our round to win. Let's just save our economy here. Tilo may be going for an exit frag here, but again, a nice round from Storm, and they were able to really capitalize off of Dora's mistake there, and, you know, they bring it 3-2, so we might be seeing a tie ball game at the end of this first half.
Yeah, this is probably the best, I think, post-plant situation we have seen with Stormwatch thus far. And, you know, this is what we've been talking about, right? They got to prioritize how. Not just that the fact that you get the plant off, but how you get the plant off, how you own it. And I thought a lot of things went well there, right? We saw, I think, Cream Buzz go in with the frag. For some reason, they're fragging out right now with their frags. They have the Molotov to prevent them from running for the swing. Like, so many things working out in their favor here. And they look locked in now. You know, Stormwatch is looking a little bit more locked in now. I'm feeling a little more confident, you know, potentially about how they're going to be performing in this second half here, because that was something good brought up, right? How are they going to perform in that second half there? Are they going to be able to hold down the defensive half when they've struggled to prevent retakes on their own EMPs, right? But this is definitely boding very well for the Stormwatch players. If they can get this 3v3, I think they're actually going to be in a good spot, right? Because they'll now be defending on ship. They'll have a solid lead, not lead, but at least a tie here potentially if they win this one out. I think you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong at all with 3-3. And then same thing for God Squad though. They can get the 4-2. They'll be in a pretty good spot for the upcoming half.
And that's kind of what you are hoping for if you are God Squad. We are going to be seeing a bit of a lean over towards the A site, and this time around, Dora is going to be playing more standard, not really going to be, you know, contesting anything, but Soundwave, if he's not careful, could find Dora, but even then, util right onto Dora. Doesn't headshot the hero, going to be pretty much denying any sort of, you know, second kills or whatnot. Grenade is going to be an F tier 1, doesn't connect with anybody, bounces off the ceiling there. Pishy does get killed by Jolly Rancher though, so now Storm has a man advantage yet again. And this A side take is slowly coming into play here for Storm. Tucker going to be looking over towards the boxes, trying to see if he can catch the player. Throwing Yuto, which he almost does, but Jolly Rancher says no, I'm just going to shoot you in the face instead. And Quiz gets Crazy Money, excuse me, and now it's Tilo versus Ford. A bunch of half-health players here, so, you know, that Marui not really going to have the headshot advantage, I guess, in the way, because, you know, Assassin would just do the same thing, but it doesn't even matter. I don't even need to talk about that, because Cream just lays Tilo out, and Storm pick up a third round.
That's exactly what Storm wanted, I think. We had seen them struggle so much in that first half there, and I was starting to get nervous about that second half, but I think they're looking really good right now.
Yeah, they are. They finally have locked in. They're starting to play a lot better, I'd say. And, you know, it's, you know, we're seeing a more solid game out of them. They're not rushing the plant as much. They're taking their time. And I think especially, you know, on that offense, they finally started to realize that, hey, we need to be in control of the pace of this in terms of, you know, the round. And that's something that is special. Like, that is the attacking side's job. You control the pace of the round. You want to go fast, you go fast. That's perfectly fine, but you better be ready for the defense to react to that. If you want to take it slow, you better be aware that maybe the defense can take a little bit of map control from you, and you just better be ready for that. So the more that you can take control of the pace of the round as the offense, the better off you're going to be. So we're going to see if God Squad are going to be able to keep my words there and do that in their offense here as we get into the second pistol round of map number 1 here. We're going to be seeing some dronage once again, trying to see if they can find any sort of information here. They do clear out the one hallway here, and they're looking to lean over towards B, presumably. Drone's going to be flying back, trying to maybe get into sight there even to see if potentially they can find any more information. It's going to be flying towards that ceiling here. Actually, it's going to spot a lot of information about that setup, so it's going to be forced to swap over. A little bit of wall bangs coming in for both sides. A Molotov to, stop an immediate push here. Grenade comes in, not going to connect with anybody there, so God Squad actually doing a decent job of getting Storm to fade out their utility there. So shots just ringing back and forth. Soundwave might get caught there. Takes a lot of damage. Pishy going to be getting that first kill onto Preem Buzz. Minute 35 left on the clock. Still trying to make their way over in towards the B site. Pishy has officially made their way in there. And now, does not have that much health here, but actually going to be going for that EMP plant. Soundwave going to be taking out Tucker, but getting taken out. Jolly Rancher going to sink the plant onto Pishy there. Takes a little bit of damage in the process. Dora going to be taking the EMP plant. Tilo finds Jolly Rancher, and now Quiz in a 1 versus 3 situation with only 1 kill to their name this entire game so far.
Yeah, looks like that Quiz was coming around the corner here. Gets that pick off on Tilo now. Now coming down to his 1v2. We try to get some shots out there from Crazy Monkey. Almost finishing up Quiz Wiz in the very end there. Only 1 health in hand. This is going to be tight as Dora the Sniper does finish that one out here for the God Squad players. And, it's looking a lot better, I think, in terms of them finally getting those picks out here and making things work out for the God Squad players. But I had such high hopes, I think, for the Stormwatch players as they were coming in there. They got some great picks towards that later part of that round there, but it just wasn't enough for them to capitalize here. And again, this is something we had seen right in the first half there, that they were able to get some picks and unfortunately not able to do any more during the round with that. But God Squad, I've seen them consistently play well, so I'm kind of inclined to think that they're going to win this one out. I think one thing I forgot to bring up, honestly, was the hype votes here. And right now, Stormwatch is actually the front runner here. I think 20 votes for Stormwatch here against 6 for the God Squad players. So definitely going to be the community pick right now from Stormwatch. And I'm waiting to see if God Squad is going to be the underdog that does well. I mean, we saw them perform so well in that first half here. I'm waiting to see, can we see that come up in the second half?
I'd like to point out that God Squad actually only had 2 votes to their name, and they are, I believe I believe they are the away team here. So this would have been Storm's pick, which I don't know why you pick a map that you won 0 times. Maybe if they wanted practice, but nevertheless, I mean, oh, look at that. A coming in from Quiz. Oh, and it finds Pishy. Tucker going to be finding Quiz, though. Molotov on top of the Soundwave finds Dora. And just like that, a 4 versus 3. Storm with a very nice start here. Second Molotov going to be brought out there. I should be saying Instant, but I'm so used to saying Molly.
Nah, you're good. We all say Molly too here at this point. I feel like it's so. Right. What is that from the CS:GO games or whatever? Yeah, I feel like everyone's getting used to it.
So, yeah, I always try to make sure I'm caught up with the lingo of everybody, but nevertheless, I mean, now things have come to a screeching halt here as we have 2 players, Tucker and Crazy, both on, a combined 34 HP, which is really not good. Tilo going to be lurking over towards that A site and maybe even lurking over towards the little vent way here. Soundwave was looking over there for a hot second. Maybe decides to take a second peek as Tilo does ring out some shots, maybe bringing out the attention a little bit over towards that vent there. But Tilo's going to fall right back. Minute 10 on the clock. And now, God Squad, they have to try to do something here, but they don't really have the HP, and Soundwave might even catch Crazy here as he's definitely going to hear those footsteps, but Crazy going to be going out of the window, and they're going to regroup over on the other side, maybe considering a late rotate to B, which, I think as a mid-round call would be fantastic. Tilo does find time though, finally. Molotov to deny the refrag from Soundwave. That was a really nice molly there from Tilo. And I think, yeah, they are going to be considering a rotate here onto the B site, but there's not really any players over on the B site. But now as shots do ring out there, especially with them so furiously banging on the door block of theirs, does find Tilo. Vera finds Tucker, and now Crazy Monkey in a 1 versus 3 with 10 HP, but Jolly Rancher is right there behind the boxes to try to deny that, and does get the kill with that tight angle. So now Storm have brought up a 4th round, and we do again have a tie game here.
I mean, we're going blow for blow at this point with these Stormwatch players here. And I'm almost wondering if we're going to go to overtime at this point. I still think I haven't casted an overtime match. I gotta double check that. I think I've in the last 2 weeks I still have not casted one overtime matchup. So potentially I think we might actually be able to get there here, because the closest I ever got was a 7-5. A team did end up winning out that, I guess unfortunately for the losing team there, right? But for me, I want to see this overtime. I want to see it in the cast, see us go full force here. And I think this game is starting to kind of set up where I think we got the chops here. But I don't know. I'm looking at it right now. I try not to choose one team over the other. I still think I have a slight favor towards the God Squad players. We've seen them play consistently very well on both sides at this point. But I keep saying it. Stormwatch has glimpses of gold, and I think the big thing I'm just asking from them is consistency, right? We've seen like so much variety in them performing well in these rounds. Anyways, Zora Sniper already starting good off the rip here as they knocked out Preem Buzz. Now coming down to just a 5v4 as God Squad now coming in to take out their site.
Both these, okay, a little bit of a friendly fire as Pishy decides to walk in front of, I believe, Tilo there at their pre-firing, and he's just like, dude, what are you doing? I mean, I understand we got a kill already, but come on now. Oh my goodness, Pishy taking a lot of damage. He's just like, I'm done here. Somebody else take the EMP for Christ's sake. But nevertheless, they are going to be leading over towards that B site. And again, a nice early pick. And I mean, I got to say to both of these teams, though, I mean, you cannot be getting picked in the first 0.5 seconds of the round.
Right.
Something's wrong if you're doing. Like, come on now. Like, I get you're going for an ambitious pick, but like, if you get picked like that, you're just being a detriment. And I think they all have the gall and the realization to know that. But Tilo going to get a nice pick on the Queens there, who, is going to even be able to get himself a bit of a stim shot there. And he's going to be pre-firing through the wall, trying to see maybe if he can make something happen. Vera finds a nice kill, but Tilo, excuse me, with a wallbang onto Fira, and now it's Jolly Rancher over in the vent in a 1 versus 4 here. And do they check the corner? Jolly Rancher trying to find the right timing to come up. Finds 1, finds 2, now brings it to a 1 versus 2. Does it? Oh, finds a 3rd. Hold up a second here. Surely not, right? Jolly Rancher now in a 1 versus 1 with a Viper. Takes a lot of damage, but Tilo has the health advantage and the rifle advantage. Closes it out for God Squad in an almost scary round for them as Storm almost pull off a 1 versus 4 clutch, which I would have lost my freaking mind if we saw that. But
I know. Let me pull up this replay clip right here. It was a beautiful one there. As we saw Jolly Rancher, I'm going to be honest, do the unexpected, gets the 1K, gets the 2 pick. I'm like, you know what? I can see that happening. I didn't think the 3 pick would be happening there in the end. But talk about a crazy swing there that worked so well in their favor. Dare I say ego peeking, because it was a little risky, I'm not going to lie. But I guess at that point, they already had the EP down. It's a 1v4. You got to go for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you're in a clutch situation, you just have to try to isolate the fights into a 1v1 as much as you can, because then you're just fighting 4 1v1s, and that is way better odds than if you're getting double peaked, triple peaked, or whatnot, and you're actually fighting a 1v3 or 1v4. So it's kind of a mentality thing too. Like, you just gotta go for it and hope for the best, and just hope that the enemy's looking somewhere else or just doesn't win the one. So, we almost saw a crazy clutch attempt there, but, it does get stopped short there by Tilo. And now God Squad is up ahead 5-4. They only need 2 rounds here to win, and they are going to be going in through the window. No crazy roams that I'm seeing from any of this defensive setup here. We do have a hallway setup Quiz might actually be trying to find that drone there and does. So that is going to deny a bit of information over to the God Squad here. They are going to be... Ooh. Tucker is just getting friendly fire. That poor dude. He's trying to just beat the wall, and unfortunately for him, they do have to waste a stim shot there. So, now they're going to have to wait for that stim shot for when they actually do the push here. So, Jolly Rancher maybe calling the wall push there. The door blocker finally does get shot open. They're going to be needing to find this static thing here. I can't think of what this is. The static field. There it is. Crazy Monkey and Fear are going to be finding kills there. They're going to be going down there. And, Tucker just barely gets out with their life. Nate's going to be going down. Molly's going to be going down. But not really to any great effect here. And we've burned a lot of time this time. We're already at 1:15. Crazy Monkey does find Quiz there. So now God Squad do have that numbers advantage again. And I think maybe Tilo's just going to be looking for a lurk. Maybe to see if somebody is going to try to wrap around or whatnot. Or maybe just make footsteps over towards the A-site to bait out that A-site push. Either way, I do like what Tilo's doing right now.
Yeah, it looks like Primbuzz throwing out the incendiary there to shut down that immediate side push at this point, leaving God Squad to kind of wait it out. But as we see, a lot of health has been taken out on the other side. Tucker and Pishy taking a lot of damage themselves here, as they now are going in for a site switch up, going in for a site instead here. Now it looks like Stormwatch understanding that this is going to be happening here, as they themselves are coming out here to go and get ready for this new push developing from the God Squad players. We are waiting for something to happen here. Trying to take out the static again. You got to shoot it above. I think people forget you shoot above the static there. As Crazy Monkey comes in on site, goes in for the swing. Doesn't work out at all. And Jolly Rancher again having a beautiful finish here. But now in a 2v1. And I mean, talk about unfortunate there, as they were not ready for that. Let me pull this up here. I think I got that replay. We saw a great swing coming out here. Unfortunately, I don't know if you caught that, Yellow Hat. This swing that comes out from the God Squad players misses one of the Stormwatch players. It gets knocked out, and I think that shuts down that whole attack, as I think it's Jolly Rancher that survives, goes in for the swing themselves and knocks them out and prevents anything from happening there.
I think that round entirely fell on the God Squad player that decided not to check the close left corner. I don't know whether he was just rushing through and hoping nobody was going to be there. But I mean, that's the other thing too. I mean, you go for the late rotate, okay. But at the same time, like, now you have to spend time clearing out all the util on that site, the door blocker, the static field, all of that. And then you don't really give yourself enough time to push in there, safely plant, take the time to actually clear out all the angles. And so they just kind of rushed through it, and it bit them in the back. I mean, that's really unfortunate, but that's especially when you have two similarly matched teams. I mean, it's whoever makes the less mistakes. And so, what is Jolly Rancher doing?
Why are people getting killed off the rip? What is going on? Like, we got it.
And don't give me the stick drift excuse either. I swear to God, if that's oh my! And then Quiz, what an angle there. Takes out two of them. So okay, we have a little bit of a recovery, but that was, oh my God, there's the nade that almost did some serious damage. Not even 30 seconds into the round, God Squad are down 2 players, and we have Preem on the stairs trying to, maybe get the wrap here. And I don't know if they're going to even be ready for this. I mean, they're just stuck at the stairs. They're going to rotate out, going to go over towards that B site now. I mean, what is going on this round? I really don't know. I will say
God Squad definitely really enjoys their... Oh, Pre-Bus gets a 2K almost! Honestly, might have been able to get the 3K. Talk about, showcasing the Marui's power there. That was long range, but it got those headshots and it counted. As it now comes down to a Pishy 1v4, and it looks like we're going to be seeing an economy save.
Yeah, I mean,
this is as far as you can get. I've never seen anyone back here. No one goes this far back, so this is actually kind of funny.
I mean, okay, Storm, they lose a player in the first, second of the round because he's just, looking at their door, I guess, tried to go to the stairs or whatnot, and then Quiz, with a sick angle, drops 2 of the God Squad players who are unaware of that angle, which now they're going to be aware of it. And then just like that, Cream swings out the door, takes a risk, and then shoots 2 players as they're trying to rotate. I mean, what is I can't even process what's going on this round because it's just so ridiculous on all fronts. I mean, I could yap about this for the next, I don't know how long.
We had that immediate kill off the rib. We had, I think, a 2K almost immediately after that. I got the replay. Let me pull that replay up real quick of that 2K. Never mind. I didn't get the... Oh, I did get the 2K here. As it looks like, I think Quizwiz gets that 2K from a beautiful peek there. They were not expecting that. As God Squad lost so many players. And then I didn't unfortunately get the other one, but a 2K run out there from the Stormwatch players. And I gotta say, the aggression is really working for Stormwatch here. As we've seen them play very, very well. Get those 2Ks, you know, forcing God Squad to play this 1v4 and obviously not playing it out because I think that would be a little difficult, right? Right. What do you expect to see in this upcoming round, right? 6 and 5. This is gonna be match point now for God Squad. They got to pull out all the stops and go for the overtime.
Here's the initial problem, right? You've been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on these rounds. That screws your economy if you're losing. And with God Squad, I mean, now some of them don't even have money to buy like Vezins and Maruis. We have a Cadillo on Dora, I guess really living up to their name of being the sniper of the team.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing this game has to a sniper rifle. And then you have Tilo on the Arl. And then everybody over on Storm, they've got Maruis, they got Vezins, they got Util. I mean, you know, God Squad, they're making do with what they have here. But even then, it's just like when you go back and forth, you start losing, you know, you don't get that loss bonus that you get from losing a bunch of rounds in a row. So
right.
You really have to start being careful with your economy. And now God Squad, they have their backs up against the wall now just because of that alone. So, I mean, maybe they get lucky and get an opening pick again, but I mean, nobody on Storm is even bothering to close to any kills or anything. So they're just playing a really default setup. I'm almost inclined to think that this is going to work, but we'll see as we do see Pishy on the first drone here trying to immediately clear out the medical bay area. And so they are going to be going into the site here, trying to find out the setup. And, you know, they do get a little bit of information, at least, you know, that there's a door blocker that they're going to have to deal with. You know, pretty standard stuff, nothing too unexpected, but, you know, excuse me, they are going to be able to take that space in the med bay area and maybe make something out of it.
Yeah, Stormwatch, I think, totally playing conservative this time around. I mean, 5 players on this B side. They hard committed to this site, expecting something to work out. They're throwing a great molly, almost knocking out Quizless. No, they do! As they go for the second molly, doesn't quite land there. Great fragment and deep, and it doesn't get any chip damage. Unfortunately, Dora, the sniper, decides to go for the swing. I don't know why they would swing on a full team, but hey, send it, right? As it looks like they're trying to get the EMP planted here. It's down the way, but unfortunately gets knocked out. And God Squad makes it work out for themselves somehow in the end. I mean, wow. You know, we talk so much about the economy not being in the favor of God Squad, but talk about a team that could shut it down. I thought we were about to see some bad plays because we had seen a run out there from one of the players of Swing that I didn't think was going to work out. It didn't, or the sniper got knocked out there, but Stormwatch unfortunately didn't play their hand well. Yeah,
I mean, with Dora's push there, I will say, I think I applaud that they're trying to take space, you know, especially that puts the pressure on Storm and that prevents them from just immediately swinging out and dropping the EMP planter there. Right. But, you know, they didn't really make it work. I think if Dora was able to even get a little bit more damage or maybe a kill there, then yeah, we'd be talking a little bit different and saying it's a good push. But I think the context of it that they weren't able to do anything with it. But even then, like on a more macro level, like they took the space and they prevented Storm from really capitalizing on anything. And then the rest of God Squad was set up to protect that EMP planner from getting swung for free. So, I mean, God Squad, they finally had a good post plan set up here. But Martini, I think you got your wish. You got an overtime.
My first overtime. My first overtime cast. Let's go.
So I will let you do the honors and go ahead and take this one since it's your first overtime of the season. So.
Are we doing another little hazing session? That was kind of fun to do on one of those recreational casts the other day. Anyways, God Squad getting set up here on my first overtime cast ever. Besides, I guess you can consider the playoffs. But anyways, first league or season overtime match here is God Squad getting set up here. And economy choices are obviously kind of limited here, considering everyone gets the full, I think it's 4,600 for 4K, something like that, to be able to get and buy out as much as they want here. But definitely check out the Storm side, right? They all definitely prioritize the Maruis as they have a little bit more of those in their hands there. And then Barra on the top end actually playing that aggressive Roamer. We'll see if they get any value there in the end, as God Squad now getting set up for this push into site B.
Dora is kind of watching. Yeah, look at this setup for Dora, though. Dora's watching the back, so even if Vera tries to take any space, they're going to have to clear out Dora first, or at the very least fight. And I think maybe the God Squad guys take their time here, but Vera actually might catch. Yeah, they're going to catch Fishy for free because Dora's not able to actually cover that specific angle. So unfortunate for God Squad in the beginning there, but maybe they are able to recover this, and they only have a minute left on the round to do this. But Soundwave is in a bit of a peculiar position, and is very, very exposed to this blown up the wall here, and Atilo's not aware of the angle. Dora, though, does get the frag, tries to make it a second, but Jolly wants to shuts that down. Jolly goes for a second and gets the kill on Atilo. Fiora finds Tucker, and now it's Crazy Monkey in a 1 versus 4 situation here, as, they have to try to clutch it out in overtime.
I mean, this is not looking good right now for Crazy Monkey, as everything fell apart and played perfectly, I would almost say, for the Stormwatch players. I mean, talk about from the beginning, their Roamer getting value there without being exposed by the flank watcher. And then floating, pick by pick, Stormwatch able to make that work out. So Crazy Monkey dodging as many bullets as they possibly can here, trying to get some kind of picks here, but it doesn't matter. Stormwatch says, hey, we are going to win this one out and shut you down. So that's going to be the first map win going to the Stormwatch here.
Yeah, and MVP of that match definitely being Jolly Rancher there. 16-7 on the board for them. And then over on God's.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. Can somebody
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2-way.
Wow.
I mean, 7-6. We went to my first overtime. How did you feel about that previous game here?
I mean, it was definitely a close fight, a lot closer than the connoisseurs predicted. But, game number 1, the connoisseurs are right. A lot of them went with Stormwatch there. And so, we'll see if they are going to be able to take the series here. But very nice to actually see an overtime and God Squad putting up one heck of a fight. MVPs for that match in my book there, Jolly Rancher King up on that board, 16-7. 5 kills ahead of Preem Buzz, who is 11-8 there. And then over on the God Squad side of things, Pishy 12-9 there. Dora Sniper, I mean, they were 7-12, but they had 10 assists. So, I mean, definitely getting some kills robbed there. But, it is what it is. It's a team
weren't they
game.
getting killed off the rip a lot of times?
A couple times, yeah. But that was happening on the Storm side, too. They were also losing a player within the first second of the round even. We saw that like 2 or 3
Yeah, I think
times.
like award of the week, most likely to get killed within 5 seconds to both of these teams apparently. This is the most, I think, any level of cast I've seen where someone gets killed almost immediately off the rip. Again, you had called it out. I'm not sure if it's just the positioning or the sound cues being so obvious, or for some reason they're standing right next to a door. Off the rip, I will say, you know, try not to be immediately in front of the door. You will die off the rip, right?
We need to plaster like a big warning sign on the door. Don't stand here, you will die.
Yeah, you need like a 5-foot clearance or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll get more into some of these points as we are getting started on Dam here. And Dam is definitely an interesting choice. You know, Chip and Dam are map choices originally that I did not think would be so popular. But I will say in this season and the previous season, I've been seeing both of these maps, especially Chip with that rework. I've seen both of these be used so much in these competitive games.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams, they've played Dam 4 and 5 times respectively, Stormwatch, God Squad, and then both teams have won it twice. So, I mean, a little bit less experience on these maps. Maybe Stormwatch is using this game as like a bit of practice if they are supposedly significantly better than God Squad, but we weren't seeing that in game number one. We were seeing a blow for blow brawl out there, and we'll see if maybe that is the case with this. We do have God Squad starting on Enforcers, and we do have Storm starting on the defense. So from what I understand of Dam, it is probably one of the more defensive sided maps in Breachers. So we'll see if that is the case as we get into pistol round here.
I'm kind of shocked we haven't seen either of these choose factory or hideout, right? Those very common maps. Maybe it's for the older teams potentially, right? But even then, Stormwatch has been around for a while here. Oh, as I did not even see that. Dora Sniper is somehow getting a deep roam there on the back end, and that's going to be a great start for the God Squad players as now they're getting ready to push in on this B site almost immediately, starting out with a 5v4 situation. And on top of that, Stormwatch might have had a disconnect as they have a bot on their side.
Oh, that's we've been having a lot of DCs at least for this week that I've been casting. And hopefully, they're able to quickly resolve that. Pishy gets that kill on the Jolly Rancher. There is going to be able to get that EMP plant unless oh no, Preem goes right down to Tucker, and just like that, God Squad off to a very strong start. And the last player unfortunately is that bot, so it's looking like God Squad might just take this round unless the bot decides to aimbot there, but unfortunately for Storm, they're not going to be able to do that. So God Squad with a perfect round, don't lose a single player in the process.
I'm wondering if it comes down to just the player difference. Again, someone dying almost not off the rip this time, I'll give them that, but 5 seconds off the rip is still pretty close. As again, these players are kind of throwing advantages already within, I'm talking seconds of the round starting here, which again, you don't want that to happen. You don't want God Squad. They're not even on site yet, but that means by the time they get to site, they already have the advantage due to that number difference here. Especially on the pistol round, right? When you're more likely to survive and be able to take more shots, that means any amount of health left on these players is going to be better than not. But we'll see. God Squad looks like they're not going in for the traditional, I say meta or traditional, what do you want to call it, A push. They might be going in for more of an off-meta B push here, which would be definitely a very unique approach. I'm curious to see how they approach it, potentially leaving Tilo on the back end there, potentially to kind of be that distractor and force the Stormwatch players, I think that they're playing off a site.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing when you cast a lot of bronze and silver games. You see, you see a lot of teams try out new things. They're not afraid to deviate from that meta a little bit, and with that, sometimes you do see new metas created. But look at this. I mean, Preem was trying to go for the early pick all the way outside, but doesn't find anything. And Pishy going to be the one finding Quiz again. So an early pick for free. Dora finds Soundwave there and is in a fight now with Preem, but Preem ultimately finding that kill on the stairs. And look at this though, Pishy could expose himself there, and Preem might have actually just barely seen the feed of Pishy there. So, their position going to be a bit exposed there. But Tilo looking up, trying to see if they can find anything, and that's going to prompt them to back out here, or at least reapproach from a different angle as they do get that foam on the wall of the B site here. Molotov does go out, and it's going to be blocking just a little bit there. Fear taking a little bit of damage Stormwatch, and just a pretty slow approach here from the God Squad, I'd have to say.
Yeah, I think they're trying to figure out how to make this approach. I saw them go for the, never mind, pitching on the back and knocks out Prima Buzz. Finally, I think that Roman kind of just slowly taking time to see how they can approach this. But Jolly Rancher now having to take on 1v. Never mind, they got the 2. But can we get a couple more kills here as Tucker and Pharaoh come head to head? Now in a 1v1 situation, somehow Tilo not able to come in and assist their teammates there. And I think you're right. God Squad went a little too slow. They got the switch up. It worked out in their favor. They got a pick. But at that point, they should have accelerated. They should have put the pedal to the metal and pushed in on the B side. I think they gave too much time to allow Stormwatch of Town to take some time and recover here. Because look at this, Farah able to go on the other side, all the way on the other side to go for a flank here. God Squad has to be, perfect at understanding and expecting this. Otherwise, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out.
Here's the problem. Tucker should have not pushed that in a 2v1 situation here, because now you force Tilo to be in a 1. Now you force Tilo to plant here, and now you have no idea. If you're Tilo, you have no freaking clue where Fira is at all. Fira could be behind you, Fira could be in front of you, Fira could be like on top of you, or well, who knows, but it doesn't matter.
Wow.
Tilo does clutch it up just like that. So what was a little bit of a celebratory dance there as well, but I mean, that was almost a huge sell there from Tucker for trying to, I understand the logic. Okay, you want to go for the trade, but not in a 2v1. You just regroup with your teammate and you just chill and hold the angle or whatnot. You don't force the 1v1s unnecessarily like that. So God Squad, yes, they're able to get their second round there, but
I'm not gonna lie, that was a clutch mode. That that I think that should have went the way of Stormwatch. They had a crazy flank, unexpected flank on top of that. I know the God Squad player definitely was not ready for that, and they were lucky enough to be able to clutch that up with, I think, pure reaction. Right, we had seen them just drop shot, get the hand immediately up, and be ready to shoot out that Stormwatch player because they weren't expecting it. I know they weren't expecting it because they did not have their gun up at all. But I always say this, right? Clutch moments, they're great, but you can't rely on them every single round, right? Like, you need those to be happening every once in a while. But I will say God Squad, they haven't been doing too many of those, so I'm not gonna say they're relying on them. But I'm just saying they got to watch out for themselves. They're gonna be very careful about the engagements they're making.
For sure. And as we're getting into here, and as we see a bit of a slow approach, I would like to shout out everybody hanging out in the live chat. I'm trying to get the count, 34 of you chilling. Hope you're having a good time. If you're liking the stream and you haven't hit that like button yet, what are you doing? Hit the like button. Do yourself a favor there. Tell us that you love us. All that fun stuff. And either way, I do think we are going to see the wall finally breach open here. But again, shout out to everybody hanging out in live chat today. Jolly Rancher going to be burned to a crisp there. Rest in peace, brother. Your host. Pishy finds the kill, and that's going to open things up here for God Squad here as, Pishy looking to get that EMP tossed over by Tilo. Soundwave, though, takes out Tucker. So now Tilo has to be around the corner, and nice support from Tilo being that guardian angel as Soundwave gets taken out. The Molly just barely missing there as Pishy's going to be backing out. And now a 4 versus 2 retake situation. Tilo almost gets taken out here, but we've seen Storm almost do this in the past. We'll see if they're able to do it or if they just decide to save here.
Yeah, 2v4 situation, a little bit of health off of the Tilo player, but I mean, I'm not even worried about the 2v4. Even if we're at 2v2, check out the economy here as we can see Dora Sniper knocking down heads there with the Marui in hand. And that's exactly what I was going to talk about. It's the gun difference here is so massive between these two teams. Never mind, Preem Buzz gets the pick off there somehow, making it work out. But I'm not sure if they can get the next one. Is Dora the Sniper finishing out the round for God Squad here. And, it's looking very definitively like God Squad's going to win out this one half potentially, but I will say this happened in the first map, right? God Squad got, I think, a 3-win streak, and then Stormwatch proceeded to do the same thing themselves here. So it's not impossible that they can't do something here, but God Squad's looking really, really in form right now. And I'm wondering, was it just a mental? Was it the map difference, or Stormwatch just struggling to hold down this defense right now?
It could be a whole host of things. Chat actually has an interesting theory here. We have AZ Delta saying, all right, hear me out. Dora's name is Dora. Dora's friends with animals. Dora's friends with animals that can swim, meaning Dora has to be good at dam. I think I kind of follow the logic there, and Dora was popping off a little bit last round, so maybe that's why they picked Dam. Maybe that's why they're doing good right now. I don't know. Maybe chat's just wildin'. But nevertheless, you know, I would have to definitely agree that God Squad is looking pretty solid right now, and, you know, they're having a good offense, and you got to wonder if Storm are going to be able to turn that around. But we are going to be seeing some dronage, of course, from Pishy here, and not really, you know, a pretty standard setup from Storm, I'd have to say.
Yeah, God Squad getting set up on this hallway here, probably going in for the more traditional push here on the A side now as they all come in slowly here with that drone in hand, getting a lot of intel, noticing that, hey, I haven't seen anyone remotely yet, and we can see ourselves, Stormwatch, playing very conservative this time, holding all players on site. And I like seeing, you know, teams adjust their strategies, right? We've seen them play the site already. We've seen them send out a deep roamer. But this time Stormwatch has adjusted, not doing that here. As we'll see if God Squad can penetrate this defense here, because they got a lot of utility in hand here and a lot of movement ready to push forward.
Yeah, I mean, some Uto going down, not really connecting with anybody. In fact, we've only done like 20 points of damage across the board this entire round. It's just been a giant stalemate. But as I say, that Repreme there, going to be getting that first kill on the Tucker there. But that EMP going down. And Pishy's in between two mollies, but it doesn't even matter. Dora's going to be finding two of their own, but gets taken out there. Pishy finding Jolly Rancher there. Tilo with the support on Defira there. And now it's Preem again in a 1 versus 3 situation here, but gets immediately taken out. And God Squad are looking like their name. They're looking like a God Squad.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, it's looking really, really good for the God Squad players here. 4-0. I'm not going to be shocked if we see a shutout. I would not be shocked if we see a shutout because they're performing that good. I say, is it likely to happen? No, I expect a 5-1 to still happen at some point, but that doesn't mean it's impossible.
Yeah, I'd say maybe a 4-2 perhaps. I mean, a 6-0 would be a pretty bold call, if I'd have to say, but you never know. Anything can happen, as happens with every cast. We almost saw 1v4 that shouldn't have happened. We saw a pistol round earlier that shouldn't have been won by a specific team, but for some reason it did. I mean, you know, again, anything can happen in a game, especially when, you know, tensions are a little bit high. Everybody's, you know, a little bit more stressed out. They're just making sure that they can just, you know, contribute and do their thing. But you know, we were saying this map is defense-sided. Maybe my assessment of that is just not right, or maybe
I personally think it's one of the more even sites. I would say I've seen like so much go back and forth, right? It's not like a skyscraper where you see so much roaming value. There's so much space in this map, don't get me wrong, but there's also so many spaces to breach and open up. They definitely designed this map very differently than other maps we've seen, which I think is good, right? It allows teams like God Squad to really utilize all these breaches and go in from different angles, and makes it very hard to hold down and force these bad chokes that I think some of the earlier maps we've seen with Triangle Factory have, right? We see that a lot with Factory. We see that a lot with Skyscraper. There's just these hallways that are kind of death hallways.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nice to see some of the new maps played. Vera does take out Crazy Monkey. Sally finds Pishy, so now Storm potentially finding an answer. Tucker with a nice nade, though, onto that A site. Nade's going to be bouncing back, doesn't connect, so, you know, not an S tier nade. Dora is going to be tossed the foam there, going to be trying to blow open the wall here. And now we're going to be seeing a take over on that A site here. 3 versus 4. God Squad could still very well do this, but, you know, Storm going to be having that man advantage, which could ultimately help him out here.
Yeah, God Squad getting set up on this outside of the site here. I'm surprised they haven't gone in for the breach. It looks like they are going to be going in relatively soon here. Primo's going to be waiting around the corner, expecting something. Goes for the run now, gets knocked out by Tucker Era. As Dora Sniper trying to get some headshots there. They go in for the swing. They don't get anybody at all there. So now it's still a 2v3. But again, that health economy is going to be impacting him very much here. Sparrow gets knocked out. And Jolly Rancher now coming down with just Quiz Wiz and a Tilo. And this is going to be such a close matchup. It's going to come down to timing at this point. As we're going to see if Quiz Wiz does do this correctly.
1 versus 1, not a lot of... Oh my goodness, Quiz had the first shot on there. If that was a headshot, that could have just been it for Tila there, but God Squad, they continue their streak. They're up 5-0 right now and only need 2 more rounds to win game number 2 and to bring us to a game number 3.
Again, I mean, we got a 6-0. We're probably going to see a 7-0 or 7-1 from God Squad. And I don't know, again, I don't know what happened, right? We saw Stormwatch play so well on the on ship as a map, and I'm wondering if it's a map difference, because this is looking like night and day. Maybe it's the God Squad, finally they've warmed up and they're feeling really locked in at this point, because I understand sometimes your first game's a little rough. You know, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes if you don't warm up before a game, it might be a little rough for that first map, especially if you're not playing like things like bomb defusal to really warm up for your game. You might play a little loose, a little rough around the edges here, as God Squad is looking in form. I mean, 5-0, you can't get any better than that unless you get a 6-0, and if they got that, then it's probably God Squad for map 2.
Yeah, I mean, and even just kind of looking back at chat saying, you know, getting 0-4 to 0-5 on a defensive side of map, that's rough. And, you know, I'd say our chat is agreeing that, you know, this does tend to lean a little bit more in favor of the defense. From my experience, it has. Maybe, you know, we've seen some other things, and, you know, you got to wonder, I mean, what is it that Storm aren't able to do? I mean, you know, some of these rounds are super close. They're coming down to 1v1s. And so, you know, maybe the scoreline isn't telling the whole story here. But even then, I mean, to be down 5-0, you got to play pretty perfectly on your offense. It's going to be a tall ask for Storm, irregardless of whether they win this round or not.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard. And Dora the Sniper does get the pick off on Jolly Rancher roaming down there. Leave a shout out in the chat there for the super chat. $2. We appreciate you. AZ Delta. Martini Spacer and Dora Theory says it all. I mean, hey, you know, these teams are playing well. I gotta give them that. Like, God Squad is knocking them out right now. Talk about a great throw, but a beautiful frag. Just knock that down here. And this is probably the closest round we have seen thus far from Stormwatch. Maybe they've heard us complain on the cast finally. And they're locking in this round. Let's see if they're going for the swing there.
Oh, yeah, that's ripped to Tilo there. Preem finds Pishy, and now it's a 2 versus 3 here. Crazy Monkey's about to get rained up, though, by Soundwave if he's not careful of his back, but he gets shot in the back of the head. Now Dora Sniper in the 1 versus 2 situation does get helmet dinked there. So now, you know, does get dinked there. So now gonna be trying to fight. Finds the 1, and does Dora know where Preem is? Does Preem hear the climb over? Are they just gonna walk around each other? Oh my god, who's gonna find who first? And Preem, we're gonna answer that question real quick as Storm finally get around to the board. Dora doesn't check to their right, and they were not able to find X, and you know, X marked their spot there as they took the final fatal blow there, and Storm finally finding a round on the defense. But now we've got a tall order for them to try to win.
5-1. I mean,
yeah,
5-1 curse potentially, right? We've said that before. It doesn't happen as often. And I will say, you know, definitely tough. This is why I say it's always next to impossible. Not next to impossible, but like very rarely get a 6-0, because, you know, within 6 rounds, you think, even when you're getting rolled, I don't want to say like that, but, you know, they get beat down pretty hard. I'm not going to lie, from the God Squad players. Normally, you can scrounge together 1 round, right? I've seen that happen time and time again. Any team, you know, regardless of how hard they're struggling, these are still competitive players. These are still players that have strategies and they work together and have chemistry. And the idea is at least one of those rounds always works out in your favor. So for a 6-0 to happen would be, you know, monumental and a big deal, and showcases how well the team is performing. But I'm not shocked to see this 5v1, right? But I am wary of what Stormwatch can do, though, because again, as you had mentioned so many times, Yellow Hat, this is a big uphill battle, and they gotta have to play a perfect 6 rounds to win this one out.
Even if it was offense-sided, like, it's still kind of an uphill battle. You have to play 1 round, and you don't have the eco, and you're just kind of done unless you pull off kind of a miraculous thing here. We do see Soundwave going to be kind of peeking over towards this back part of A site here. Not going to find the information, but now it's going to get shot out there. Tilo taking a lot of util damage there, gets mollied to death, so Fira finding the first kill over on Storm, and, you know, EMP does go down. It's not planted just yet. Tucker, though, does find Soundwave. Going to be preventing that back, you know, snag lane access there. Quiz finding one, Jolly Rancher finding one, Crazy Monkey finding one, and now a 3 versus 2. Cream finds a lurk on Tucker, and now it's just Crazy Monkey. So all of a sudden now Storm playing really well. I mean, is this offense-sided for both these teams?
Side diff,
really
yeah.
don't know what's going on.
Looks like it might be a side diff here. We're getting a lot of shots coming in from the side there on Jolly Rancher King. This is going to be a tight one for Crazy Monkey. They have to play this perfectly, otherwise they're going to get picked out by Jolly Rancher, and they do pick them out. Now in a 1v2 between them and Quizwiz and Preem Buzz, but I mean, again, 14 health in hand. They got to play this one perfect, otherwise it's going to be going the way of Stormwatch here, as they are not sure where anyone's going to be at in Quizwiz. It's going to be perfect placement there as they're ready and expecting the Stormwatch. Sorry, the G0D-Squad players there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm wondering. Side diff. This is. It feels like it. It feels like it.
Oh man, surely not, right? I mean, are we? By just speaking it into existence, are we caster cursing it in
Well, it depends, right? Because for Stormwatch, that would be caster's blessing. For G0D-Squad, caster's curse. I'm sorry. But 5-1 curse, right? They say that sometimes it's all you need is the one. All you need is the one round to kind of tip it in your favor. Because if it was 6-0, they would need to have a perfect 6 rounds here. But at least with overtime now, if you think about it, Stormwatch technically has one round where they can mess up. They have one round where they can mess up and still come back on an overtime round, right? Otherwise, if they lose 2, we're going to be going to a map 3 at this point. But it's tough. I mean, I don't know. G0D-Squad played so well. I'm kind of nervous to say anything about Stormwatch. We have to see, you know, the same level of excellence, and not better, right? Because there's more pressure on them in this upcoming half.
Crazy, and I'm just even looking at the scoreboard right now. It's not like anybody on G0D-Squad is like doing like, you know, insane. I mean, Dora's up at 9-5. Preem is at 8-5, and there's a 3-round difference. So you could tell that like the rounds have been coming really close, but they've just not been going the way of, you know, Stormwatch there. So, you know, again, the scoreboard doesn't really paint, you know, the score line here doesn't really paint the picture. I think the scoreboard itself doing that a little bit more so.
Yeah, for sure. Their Dora Sniper playing well to their name as they snipe off a little shot there on Quizwiz, getting G0D-Squad that first early round advantage here now in this 5v4, which is going to be great for the defenders here. Tilo somehow not shooting Farah at all, as I thought they might have been able to get that shot off there. And that is a beautiful frag to knock out Dora Sniper, now trading the players.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate for Dora. I mean, they were very low health anyways, so, you know, even then, SMG's going to go to a full health player, but Crazy Monkey going to get double swung there. Very nice swing coming in from Storm, I got to say. That was a nice little double peek to see. Vera trying to find Pishy there, and is going to be getting that EMP down. And now we have a 2 versus 3 retake here.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking tough. I think this might either be offensive side or maybe more balanced than I thought, and the team is better at attacking. I will say sometimes I can understand the idea that defending can be a difficult game to balance, you know, on whether to roam or you know, approach certain pushes here. Anyway, Jolly Rancher King really dancing around the corner here, trying to force out the play. Team Buzz goes into the swing. He doesn't get any pick. No one gets any picks there. Never mind. Jolly Rancher King gets a pick themselves, and they get a 2K actually in the very end there. Let's see if I can pull that or replay real quick. I mean, 5-3 at this point. We're kind of heading on the way towards potential OT at this in this kind of wavelength. Because again,
you really think we're gonna get a double
OT?
You know,
I mean, double OT on my first OT cast. Knowing my luck, it probably would happen here. Again, that requires G0D-Squad to get around though. They got to get around, and no more than that.
Yeah, I mean, you ought to buy a lottery ticket if we have a double overtime.
You know what they say though, like I've used all my luck up, so I shouldn't get a lottery ticket, right?
Yeah, it's St. Patrick's Day was the other day too, you know.
Right.
I mean, but nevertheless, I mean, 5-3. Are we seeing a comeback here? I mean, it could very well be.
I think these teams are just better at attacking Dam. To be so frank, I've seen beautiful defenses on Dam. these teams have been struggling with that, right? They've been getting picked apart slowly from all the different angles. Because I will say, again, this map is designed differently. There's way more angles generally onto the immediate site, and it can be very challenging for some of these teams to play defense on.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think part of it is just like having the discipline of like, hey, don't get picked early. And, you know, I don't think we've been seeing as crazy of like early picks as we were last game. I mean, last game we had 2 or 3 instances of people getting picked in the first second of the round. So at least we're not seeing that for right now. But, you know, it's looking like EMP wants to go over towards this B site for once, and they are going to be going in through that vent. And, you know, Dora's not really in a position to do that. Soundwave actually going to be making some steps, so Dora may be hearing those as well. And they're going to drop into that B site. Crazy Monkey going to be tagged up a little bit, and that EMP is going to be going down. So now we have a post-plant situation here. Jolly Rancher does find Crazy. Dora finds Soundwave. Cream finds the kill into Pishy. Quiz finds the kill into Dora, just like that. So we're having some very, very back-and-forth kills here. Tucker does find Jolly Rancher. So now, again, a 2 versus 3 retake situation.
Yeah, pretty much holding his long angle. Gets the pick off on Tucker. They're now leaving just Tilo left. I'm waiting to see if Farrah's going to go in for the swing here or not, or if Tilo is going to do something interesting. I think they decided this is a 1v3. They might go in for the save at this point, which it's kind of tough, right? The EMP's coming down, so it might have been a hard retake anyways. But we'll have to see if anything does come here. I wouldn't be shocked if someone gets picked up in the end here, though. So they got to be still on edge here, potentially watching their corners as the players do not play it out. They just hold down their angles at this point. But look at it, round by round, Stormwatch is they're shutting down that point advantage that God Squad had, and it's looking like they're running with it too.
Yeah, I mean, to be down 5-1 and then to come back 5-4. Now God Squad have to be feeling the pressure here. And, you know, I think that was a good save call to, you know, make sure that everybody's got Vezins and Marias, because now I think we're going to have our first real even fight. And this may be where God Squad kick it into overdrive here and they take their 6th round. But, I mean, Storm pretty equally has a chance here to also make things happen and to, you know, to be able to try to, you know, tie up that score, which would be insane to see. I mean, again, God Squad were 5-1.
5-1 curse. I mean, people say it for a reason. Like, there's a reason why it has a name. It's a thing. Because sometimes all you need is that one round to kind of tip it in your favor when you're on the other side here. Again, these teams have been struggling on this defense. Both halves, both of the defending teams have been struggling here. But at this point, I'm wondering, you know, who's struggling more? Can Stormwatch get a couple more rounds in the God Squad players and win it outright? Or are we going to go to potential overtime here? Or is God Squad going to lock in and we're going to see a map 3?
Yeah, I mean, it would be sweet to see a map number 3, and you know, but even then, I mean, it's like I don't know how we're getting close in the scoreline. Anyways, it's man, there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on these games, and you can say like, oh, bronze and silver games, like, not as interesting to watch, but like, dude, we just had our first overtime. Like, we're having a 5-1 potential comeback to a 5-5. Like, anything can happen in these games, and I think it's that unpredictability that makes them like pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, well, I saw someone in the chat earlier mentioning that they got a little bored watching some of the casts because they saw a blowout earlier. And I will say, yeah, it's not always fun watching a blowout. That's why, like, even as a caster, right, I try my best to generally choose games that I think are a little bit closer, unless there's just that many high codes. Like, I kind of just pick the times that it's like that.
Yeah,
requested, right? If it's that requested, I'm like, whatever. I'm not gonna like guess. Anyways, a lot of chip damage here coming out on Cream Buzz already. Some deep utility use coming out from God Squad, but no picks quite yet, as Stormwatch is trying to figure out how to attack and approach the side at this point.
Well, I think they're sending the artillery cannon as they try to get some nades in there, but none of them really going to connect and do much damage there. Tilo going to be finding the first kill on the Soundwave. Fear just dodging the pre-fire there. Quiz finds the kill on the Dora, and just like that, it's a 2 versus 4 site hold here. So, I mean, God Squad, unless they really, really screw this up, which, like, you know, maybe I'm speaking into existence, they should have this one. Quiz is going to be camoed there, so finds one. Fishy going to go for the refrag, does get that refrag. Fira trying to find one. finds one, but Pishy going to be getting that kill. And finally, for God Squad fans out there, they do find their first round on the defense and bring themselves to match point.
You know, I'm not going to lie, for a quick second, I thought Stormwatch was actually going to win out that round. It got so close.
Yeah.
And this is why we always say sometimes you got to be careful. Don't automatically reload every time, right? Especially when you notice the possibility of someone potentially pushing immediately after. And that's very likely to happen in this 4v2 situation, right? I think Stormwatch player, if they had just not reloaded, because they couldn't shoot back, right? They were reloading. They couldn't shoot back, and they lost that, you know, engagement, unfortunately. And it came down to a, 1v2, 1v3 in the very end. So things might look a little bit differently for Stormwatch.
I think the over reloading habit is such a VR like bad habit because we're so used to, you know, because it's not just like a button that you press for like a timed animation. You know, you can put your mag in as fast as possible, and yeah, there's a little bit of a delay in breachers, but like in other games, for example, it's as fast as the person can reload. So it's really easy to just say, hey, I'm just gonna reload this real quick and I'm gonna be fine. I'm not gonna get punished. Whereas in, like, you know, flat screen games and, you know, in this case in breachers, because there is that little bit of a delay when you do reload, it is a little bit more punishing. So, you know,
especially with those the reload time nerfs, because they used to it used to be quick. It used to be that quick where someone could just spam and run around these corners like that. And that was fine back in the day, right? You can reload almost immediately after every engagement and still be able to up and ready for the next one. But that's not a thing anymore, right? You got to be very careful and pick your engagements. And unfortunately, Stormwatch players could not do that in the end. But again, it was also a 2-4 uphill battle. I'm giving them a hard time because I'm gonna be honest, I thought I could see them do it. I could see them win that 2-4, right? We've seen them come back with some crazy odds here, and that's what I keep saying. Like, Stormwatch, I see it in them. I see them. They have the gold there. It's just about execution at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the other thing too is, you know, even though Storm are on the back burner now, they did have the economy going into this round just from all those rounds that they won previously. So we're going to see if they're going to be able to pull this off. And again, I mean, just a pretty default setup here. Dora is going to be lurking, trying to find whatever Dora needs there, which is probably a kill. Fiora going to be, just barely escaping the fires of hell there as they plant that EMP. And now we have a 5-on-5 retake situation. So nobody actually dying, but people taking damage. And it's rare that you see a 5-on-5 retake situation. Quiz getting the train onto Dora, Jolly Rancher finding Tucker, and this is going to be a bit difficult for God Squad to try to pull off here. You know, EMP's in a really tough spot. I mean, still, there's the static field and everything too. Tilo gonna try to go for the around the wall there. Fiora finds the double though, and they know he's there. But just like that, Fiora with a quick triple there, and Storm have found their 5th round. So Martini, I think we're gonna see another.
Did you see this hero 1-2? Almost. I thought that was enough. No, they got the 3K in the end there, and that's what I'm saying. Stormwatch, they have the chops. They can do this. But can they do it one more round? Can they do one more round here? And I think they have the advantage, right? They have the at least inherent advantage here. As check out their economy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buys. You know, as many gadgets as you can possibly think of. But check out the God Squad players. We're seeing SMGs come out. There's only one buy at this point. So God Squad has to play this perfectly. They do have the overtime. They do have the overtime backup there just in case it doesn't work out. But they got to play this perfectly. Otherwise, Stormwatch is going to force us into OT. And I will say, technically, both of these teams have already played OT. But someone did beat the other team in OT last map. So I wouldn't be shocked if they did it again. But who knows? OT is OT. You never really know until it happens.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, I mean, you know, we'll see at the end of this round. But right now, I mean, even if Storm were to win this, I mean, God Squad might be able to pick the side if this does go OT. So that's something to just keep in the back of our heads here as we, you know, potentially go into OT. But you know, we're going to be seeing, again, some dronage from our resident drone pilot, Soundwave 39. Thank you for flying Soundwave today. We appreciate it. And so they're going to try to get information for the team here. It's going to be staring at that foam in the wall, and he's going to be breaching through. Ooh, the alarm placement going to be alerting players there. And we do see Dora here on the lurk again, and this could be really crazy for Dora here. Oh, Vera gets taken out, but Jolly Rancher in with that immediate refrag. So a little bit better of a trade for Dora just because, you know, they do lose the one gun. But even then, I mean, is she going to go for the kill there? But again, I mean, surely you had to expect that. Jolly Rancher finding one, Jolly Rancher with a triple kill, and now all of a sudden it's up to Crazy Monkey. So Martini, unless Crazy Monkey goes absolutely crazy, I think we're going to see an overtime.
This might be a John Wick situation, though. A 1v3, I wouldn't be with a Viper in hand, of course. Of course, it's not going to be an assault rifle. This is a John Wick moment. You got to do it. They got to get these picks. Otherwise, this might be going down a lot faster than they had hoped here, as we're going to be probably going into overtime pretty soon here.
But they're going to make this. They're going to make the step. Finds one. Almost finds the second, but Quiz with a nice support there. And you're really getting your wishes today.
5-1 curse. I'm told you, man. 5-1 curse and the double OT, of course, on my first OT of all OTs for a season, a matchup here. But I mean, this is going to be a great game. It looks like Stormwatch didn't get to choose. Oh, wait, they did. They've been running an attack, so of course they're going to hit on attack again.
Yeah, they barely get to choose by 140 score there.
Yeah,
so,
let's see what this came out to. 12,449 for the God Squad players and 12,589 for the Stormwatch players. I mean, talk about how close it is. That goes to show how much they're both planting and able to kind of win out these situations. But the way that this is going, again, Stormwatch chose the attacking side. They've been dominating on the attacking side. I wouldn't be shocked if it worked out in their favor, but I've said that so many times in OT, and that's what I love about OT. Just because you might have done well on one side or whatever doesn't mean you're guaranteed to win it again, right? It's almost as even as you can get in terms of a playing field.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing too being, you know, God Squad, they did win a round on the defense. It wasn't like they were completely 6-0 shut out. So, you know, maybe they have a trick up their sleeve or something for, you know.
Hey, both teams got 5-1, if you think about it.
Yeah. That is factual information. So we'll see if maybe God Squad are able to pull this one off. But I mean, if Storm win this round, they will win the series. And, you know, which again, I mean, Connoisseur votes 20-2 or something like that. But definitely a closer game than we could have imagined. But here we go. Util going to be ringing out. Molly's going to be coming through. Wall's going to be blown open. Door blocker going to be unblocked. Another Molly coming out. Oh my god, it's like the field of fire here. Pitchy going to be ringing out the first shots here. Dora's going to be ringing out the first kill on Dupreme. Quiz finds the refrag on Dora there. Soundwave does take a lot of damage there. The EMP is in the open though, and that's really tough. Vera gets a little damage there. Another Molotov coming out, blocking the door there. Minute 30 on the clock, and I mean, it's so tense this round. You have just players trading peaks, nobody really doing any damage. Soundwave is low on HP, and you gotta wonder, maybe do they consider the rotate at all, or if they're just gonna go with this. Soundwave might actually be able to find the information on the Pishy here, but Quiz is gonna be supporting the player, but oh no, not the Storm, the triple kill, and now it's Jolly Rancher in a 1 versus 4 here to try to make things happen. And I mean, this is gonna be tough. I mean, they have a minute to work with, finds one, doesn't take any damage, so, you know, brings it to a 1 versus 3. 55 on the clock, and they're going to be slowly peeking through. Oh, just barely gets out there. Now they know the alarm is there, so they're going to have to try to shoot that one out there. Going to be getting that alarm down.
Tense.
And now, oh my god. You got to wonder whether Jolly Rancher is going to pull off something miraculous here. I mean, just barely goes unspotted here, and Tucker going to be just watching the close angle. Is he going to really go for this plant? Surely not. 30 seconds left. Crazy Monkey fast up. Oh! Just barely clutches it out for God Squad. And Martini, we're going to have a game number 3. Oh my goodness, that was so close.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a moment almost gone perfect for the Stormwatch players. A 1v4. They got the 1v3. If this had been a 1v3, maybe this might look differently, but it was unfortunately a 1v4 in the end there for the Stormwatch player. But talk about, you know, fighting tooth and nail here. Double OT from both of these teams. Both trading a map, though, at this point. We're going to a now map 3 here as the God Squad does win this one out. And we'll be back pretty soon after these quick ad breaks.
Only Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. Can somebody
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2
Welcome back from our quick ad break there. I mean, what did you see in that previous round there, Yellow Hat? That was, again, close, but I think map 1 was still closer because we saw like sort of a 5-1, 5-1 curse on both sides there in the end, right? We ended up going to a 6-6. Granted, the God Squad did run out that overtime on the previous map there, but it was a different map for sure, right, than map 1.
Yeah, no, map 1 was definitely blow for blow. I mean, we were seeing the teams trade rounds, and it looked like both of them really knew what they were doing on their respective sides. Yep. And then we get to map number 2 on Dam, and it's just like nobody knows how to defend. Like, you got 5-1 on the attacking side, and then a 5-1 curse on the attacking side, and it takes it to overtime, and that overtime literally comes down to a 1v1 with Jolly Rancher almost connecting the triple spray, but one of the Storm players able to one of the God Squad players able to clutch it out there. But we do have a few player swaps on both of these sides here, so we'll see as we get into map number 3, the home and native for many players, Hideout. I'm interested to see how this one goes. This is going to be a map that both these teams are going to be way more experienced on, so it could just be a one-side blowout, or again, I say that and maybe we have another overtime. I'm speaking it into existence now, Martini.
Yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't be shocked for a triple OT if any team is going to do it. It's my first OT team. I'm saying OT way too much there. Anyways, God Squad getting set up now on the attack here. Again, this is Hideout, right? There's going to be a slight favor towards the attacking team here as the God Squad coming in on this third floor site here. And again, Stormwatch playing very conservative this time around. 5 players on site. No one really playing that deep roamer role, which I do think is a better play for this sort of site here. But I've seen some crazy roamer plays, but they got to know exactly what they're doing here. But I'm curious to see how these two teams duke it out because this is Hideout. And both teams, I'm sure, have played time and time again here as God Squad getting ready for the push inside.
Absolutely. And so, we do have a bunch of traded shots. Nobody's actually done damage to each other just yet. Dora the Explorer getting the, actually getting shot in the face there. Never mind. No EMP plan for you. Sorry, buddy. Try again next round. Shadow going to be trying to get the tags here, and we do actually have a sneaky Fira going to be lurking in the lower area, and Fishy does drop down, and they actually could catch the timing here. Fira going to be, oh my goodness, this timing is. Fishy just gets away just for this round, and I am saying Fishy, chat. I'm not saying Fishy. Don't you worry. So Fira going to be just still lurking in the lower room area there for just a moment, and certainly this EMP has to go down at some point soon. They do have a minute left. Only a grenade onto Preem Buzz, but guess what? Here it comes, and goodbye. Try planning again next round, buddy. Jolly Rancher King going to be taking out a Shadow, bruh, and this would be a perfect time for Fear to strike, and I think they realize it, and just like that, a team ace coming out from Stormwatch.
I mean, talk about coordination, talk about survivability here, as this team did a really good job at slowly taking out those players one by one here, and Stormwatch, looking a little bit better, I think, finally on the defensive side. I think you could tell which maps these teams know how to defend, and Hideout is definitely one of those here, as Stormwatch looks pretty confident, even going so far as getting a hero buy, sort of, in Jolly Rancher King, getting that Cadillo all ready for this upcoming round here. But I don't know, God Squad looked a little tense, playing on that third floor there. Took a lot of time, I think, getting set up.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't really able to get into the site, and they tried going for the EMP plant twice. I mean, Dora just immediately got put down, and then the other player that tried to plant it, they really couldn't do much of anything with it. So, it was an unfortunate series of events, but nevertheless, I mean, let's see here for the economy side of things. We do have 4 SMGs being force spot, and then over on Storm, they win the round, but they elect to go all Spectrals and then a singular Cadillo. So it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that one pops out.
Yeah, is that defrag?
Yeah, I was gonna say that defrag not gonna be connecting, and again, I mean, it's gonna be really interesting seeing if Jolly Rancher even makes that Cadillo work in the first place.
It's definitely a bold choice. I'm not a big fan of Cadillos personally, so I would never pick it up. We've had our own fair share of struggles with Cadillos. Anyways, Shadow Bruh, that's a weird name, takes out Farah already, which is gonna be a big deal there. We've seen some good value there in the end, as now Goswell's getting set up on this storage side to get pushed in on this B site, as time is slowly ticking down here. And I'm waiting to see what Stormwatch is going to do to retake or at least hold against these players, as Dora Sniper playing that sniper role, knocking out Man with the foot.
And this plane coming in from Fishy, I mean, they're just going to be able to dodge all the bullets, and just like that, ooh, Quiz was getting taken out, and now all of a sudden Preem in a 1 versus 3 now behind the box, trying to see if they can take out Crazy. Gets the kill on the Crazy, 1 versus 2. Shadow, though, getting very tagged up as well. I mean, this is not completely undoable, but I mean, Dora is in a very good spot for, the post-plant situation here, and a Shadow just going to be hiding behind the cover boxes, and Preem does finds the stim, but doesn't recover enough health to survive a headshot there. Shadow going to be taking him out, and God Squad picking up their first round.
We did talk about these teams going blow for blow at this point. I wouldn't be shocked if we go blow for blow every round until OT here. Part of me wants this OT to be wished into existence, because that would just be, truly the cherry on top, getting a triple OT on my first OT cast of all casts. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. And first, I think triple OT I've ever seen in a season match, right? We haven't seen that yet. I think in playoffs we haven't seen triple OT either. So this would be very fun and record setting for sure. But we'll see.
Yeah. And I will say we will see if we'll go both blow for blow. But I think this one we're going Cadillo for Cadillo, as Dora and Jolly Rancher are once again opting for the Cadillo. I'm not entirely certain what they're trying to cook here. But
I would personally get an Alrel over a Cadillo. I'm just shocked when they, I don't know, man. I can't get it.
I'll say one of my favorite things to do was to go by the trees, like all the way on the left of the front door, and then just try to snipe the guy off of Van from like that far, super tight angle. Because I mean, they're holding a Vezin, they're not gonna one-hit headshot you. But if you have something like Marie or a Cadillo, then you might just be doing that job. So I love forcing the really long range angles that like don't make sense for creatures, but you know what? It's fun to do anyways. But Shadowbird going to be taking out Cream there. So God Squad getting their opening pick, but man with a foot going to be taking out Dora Sniper there, I believe from the from the window. That's a heck of a pick there, and they are going to be holding that wraparound just in case, you know, God Squad do decide they want to rotate to A. So, I mean, you know, man with a foot in a really good position here to be disruptive.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see Quizwiz too. More Rui in hand holding out for these corners. And I'm
Oh my God, and another one.
Gets another, somehow making it work out for themselves here. And I don't know how they survived to get 2, but Man with a Foot deciding to bank that shot now and going back to side, allowing this 4v3 to really come to a head here. And I think that's the better play to do here, right? Because you have the player advantage. Might as well go back to side, hold it down, and just win this one out here. But again, blow for blow, Stormwatch on a slight advantage in this current round.
Yeah, and I mean, like, again, who are the God Squad players? We're looking at the window. You're like, oh my God, this guy's going to peek again. They look away for a sec. Oh, that's what he did. That's such unfortunate timing. You know it happens. Oh, and Quizwiz is just going to get burnt to a crisp and laid out by a Viper. So, you know, really unfortunate death there. But Fishy going to try to go for the EMP player, but again, not shooting the corner. But Man with the Foot somehow not able to get the corner. Oh, it's a 1v1, but Jolly Rancher just like that makes the Cadillo work, albeit up close. And Stormwatch just picked it off a second round just like that. It was just back and forth real quick there.
Yeah, I don't know if the Cadillo is supposed to be used that way, but I guess when you're in a 1v1 and the player's already crouching in front of your face, it might be worth going for. Might be worth going for.
Yeah, at this point, you know, with everything that's happening in this game, the Cadillo might as well be a shotgun, the Knut might as well be a sniper rifle, and I don't even know anymore.
I think that's all you can really say. But I don't know. I love seeing these two teams adjust to each other and kind of go for it. This is definitely going to be a slightly favored round for these Stormwatcher players here. Stormwatch players are not watchers. Stormwatchers is, I believe, a TV show or something like that, right? It's called something like that. So those guys that like follow those tornadoes around or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know the exact name of the
You never saw that show?
Dude, I don't watch TV that much.
That was like back in the day. It was like Tornado Watch, or what was it? It was something like
Storm
that.
Chasers.
Storm Chasers, yeah, Storm Chasers.
Oh, yeah. Look at me. I'm so brilliant. This is the perks of being an unk, I guess. Maybe I have more than half a brain. But
I guess are we unks now? Am I called an unk now? Is that how old I am? I'm only 28.
I'm 29 next month. I'm ancient.
No, you know who's older than us? Shimi.
Oh man, we did. I think we did a cast on his birthday, and we should have wished him a happy birthday. But yeah, either way, we're ancient here on the desk. But
hey, I like it though. I like it. I like that a lot of the casters are actually older. If you think about it, like a good amount of us were actually a little bit older, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, older, but maybe a little bit wiser. Who knows?
We better be.
I'm gonna catch it. I hope so. But nevertheless, pretty slow round here. You know, nobody really doing anything. Okay, there we go. We see the wall booth open finally. Minute 35 on the clock. A lot of shots trading back and forth. Dora finds Jolly Rancher. Man with a Foot finds Fishy. And we're back to a 4 versus 4. Man with the Foot going to be able to recover with that stim shot. But a Shadow is tagged very low here. And I do like the positioning here from Quiz. He's going to be able to at least cut off the eventual take into the B site from the front, but maybe even getting a little bit more ambitious and going into the corner instead of using the stairs as cover. But Man with a Foot cutting down Shadow, cutting down that low health player, and maybe this is where you make the call to rotate over to A, but even then, they're just continuing to fight that window. Dora Sniper picking off that long range kill, finally getting Man with a Foot, bringing it back to a 3 versus 3. Crazy Monkey going to be trying to cross over. And maybe this is where they consider going A.
You know, I can see it already. Dora Sniper looks like they're getting set up to get pushed into A here. Both players, never mind, only 2 players going up top roof side, potentially going in for that A side. And I think you're right. All the B players are kind of holed in at this point. We see Pharaoh, we see Quizwiz. Never mind, they decided just going through the hatch instead, and they... Oh my god. That is why I don't like the jump hatch. I'm gonna clip that. That is why I don't like jump hatches. As they jump down the hatch, go immediately in the B side, and get mauled down by Farah there. And I'm almost disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm almost disappointed. Yellow Hat. I thought they're going for the switch up onto A side.
Yeah, I thought they were too, but I mean, it would have been a great call, but you know, it doesn't happen, unfortunately. Crazy does find one at the end, so they're at least able to get, you know, a little bit of damage onto Storm's economy. But I mean, they're up 3-1 right now. They're feeling pretty good, irregardless. I mean, sure, two of them are going to have to invest into rifles, but even then, they're still going to have money. They still can likely buy rifles again next round, even if they lose this one. So I mean, you know, they're sitting pretty right now. And then, you know, God Squad, they're sitting on mostly rifles. Again, we do have Dora Sniper on the Cadillo there. It'd be really cool if you could put like an ACOG scope or something, or like a magnified scope.
I know people talk about different magnified scopes. Like, it would be interesting. It would be interesting.
I think the problem though is that like you kind of have to dual render the game when you have a scope on there. So like that's really performant for the quest platform. But you know, two casters can wish.
Hey, you never know. Like once we start going to like quest 3, quest 4, right? We start upgrading their systems, and we see potentially different things. And I brought this up before, right? That's kind of one of the limitations of only playing for quests. I did want to give a quick shout out to the super chat in the chat by AZ Delta for $2 there for Dora the Explorer, more like Zorro the Voyager. I don't know the joke there. Anyways, Dora Sniper getting shot off a man with a foot on the top there.
Hey, they're living up to their name. They poked the player out of the window. So you know, I'd like to have them as my counter sniper unit if I ever needed protection. So good job, Dora. Keep it up. We're gonna have a 5 versus 4 now. As again, I mean, these early picks. Okay, never mind. We're good. I'll tell you later. A Shadow does find Jolly Rancher, and so now, ooh, a little bit of damage onto Dora's Sniper there, and now they're gonna be, Dora's just gonna be walking over towards, looking like they just want to go all the way around, I guess. I mean, they're going around the world. We gotta let them, but we do see the EMP finally, you know, I've been so distracted, but the EMP finally is going to be going down onto the B site there. Vera going to be finding a nice kill on the Pishy. Crazy Monkey finds Cream there, and ooh, gets the outside peek onto Crazy Monkey, but now Dora Sniper in a 2 versus 2. Ooh, that nade almost works there, but look at this coming in from Tucker, the flank. And this could be a huge flank from Tucker if he plays his cards right. Vera's gonna hear those footsteps. Oh no, not able to find the kill, but now Dora in a 1 versus 1, but gets taken out there with, you know, only just a few seconds left on that EMP. Will Quiz get this? They get the first, they get the second. Can they get the third? The beeping is going really fast, and they had 5 seconds left on that, and they're just able to barely get that.
Stormwatch again winning out 4-1 now, and they're just slowly but surely climbing their way to that third map victory here. And I'm wondering, you know, what do we expect to see here? What do we expect to see here, Yellow Hat? I mean, 4-1. Stormwatch has had a very back and forth game, right? It's been a close game. I don't say back and forth, but back and forth in terms of who's winning these maps out. And I'm wondering, are we going to see another 5-1 curse that we had seen on map 2?
Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting if we do see another 5-1 curse. I mean, you know, anything can happen there, but you know, again, Stormwatch is playing really well. I mean, you know, even though they got early picks there, they're just getting some of these, you know, kills uncontested irregardless, even like at the disadvantage. So, you know, even if they are, like I said, even if they are at the disadvantage, they're still making things work somehow.
I know, God Squad, I'm kind of curious, can they bring this back on the second half? Can they do the same performance Stormwatch has themselves been doing finally well on, you know, their own defensive half here? Or is this going to be going the way of Stormwatch and we're going to be seeing a pretty good map 3 for themselves here? And I wonder, maybe they saved Hideout for the last map. You know, maybe they saved Hideout for the last map knowing they can bank on it, right?
Maybe. And I mean, you know, Hideout also going to You find Reprieve there, going to be finding the wall bang onto Tucker. That is really unfortunate. He swings into the door and gets immediately punished. So, unfortunate for Tucker, but nevertheless, door just kind of hanging out in the window, and, you know, alarms going off. Maybe we see a little bit more free fire there, but, you know, 4 versus 5, can Door make it work? Door's going to be getting very much tagged up there. The stim shot pretty much saving their life there. You do see the molly going down over on the island there, so going to be drawing out one of the players, but Jolly Rancher finding Pishy there, and this again, Shadow Bro, nice headshot onto Free. Brings it back to a 3 versus 4 for God Squad there, but Fira is on the flank, and this could be really devastating if none of the God Squad players are attentive to a potential flank here. Quiz is going to be just right on the bomb plant there. Minute 15 left on the clock, and Fira is really suiting up the strike here. Any moment we could be seeing a potential flank kill, but crazy. Let's turn around for a second. Man with Foot getting very much tagged up here. Minute left on the clock, and, you know, just back and forth here. Man with Foot finally takes out Dora. Now again, Crazy Monkey taking out Quiz. Shadowbird taking out Jolly Rancher. Now it's 2 versus 2. Oh, shit. Oh, Fiora not able to connect the shots. Gets one onto Shadow, but it's not the headshot necessary. Bone going to be going down. Stim shot. Oh, going to be missed. But Shadow's going to be able to take that. And Fiora has just been sneaking around here. And this is just, oh, this is so tense. When are they going to strike? Crazy Monkey going to be going onto the island. Man with a foot finding Shadow. And Fiora always in such a fine position here. Crazy Monkey finds one. Can he find the second through the smoke? 20 seconds left. And Crazy Monkey able to heal up here. Still needs to get that EMP plant. Gonna go for the first tick. Gonna go for the second tick. Gets that. Now he's gonna get that third tick. Stutters a little bit, but makes it happen. But man with the foot gonna put him down. And Storm gonna be taking yet another round there.
Talk about tumultuous, talk about back and forth, talk about I don't know who's gonna win for a hot minute. And you're right, I was staring at Fair the whole time because I was just like, when are they gonna, not staring, but I was wondering, when are they gonna do it? When are they gonna come out? When are they gonna make something happen here? And it just didn't happen, unfortunately for them in the end. But they still wanted out. Stormwatch still wanted out. I was waiting for Fair. I just feel like if they had come a little earlier, they would have had more players survive that round, honestly. I think they got too tense, right? Because they were just, oh, is someone going to shoot at me? Is someone watching my position there? If I were on the Stormwatch side, I would have been calling out, hey, like, I'm hearing 3 different guns shooting, right? For the most part, you should push.
Yeah, I mean, and the moment that he did decide to strike, he misses the headshot. And so now his position is exposed to the flank. But, I mean, you know, he gets taken out, and then just a nice trade from the one teammate there. And then it became a 1v1 just like that. And, you know, there was enough time for the Storm player to rotate all the way around and get that final pick. But even then, I mean, it was just back and forth blows. But again, I mean, we're seeing a 5-1 scoreline. And I do wonder if we're going to see a 5-1 comeback here from God Squad, or if we just see Storm close this one out.
5-1 curse?
Who knows at this rate?
Because it's feeling like it. It's feeling like it right now. Anyways, we'll see how Stormwatch does approach this third side here. Getting ready for the blow, open that hatch here. I think they'll be going in for the A side. It looks like a lot of the players are kind of postured to play off of that site there. But we'll have to see how this does develop, as shots already coming out here from God Squad now to hold down that Stormwatch attack.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the A site's always a hard one to contest. You need a lot of util to try to get out that defense, and as soon as you even think about going for the EMP, you're gonna have a frag grenade headed your way. So it, you know, it is one that is pretty difficult to take unless you have a lot of coordinated util. And Fira, like, they're already low HP from some sort of gunfight there, and you know, they're gonna really not be able to be the, you know, as effective offensively as, you know, they wish they could be. But, you know, they're going to toss the foam to the teammate. It makes it up there. So, you know, at least they're able to contribute that much. But, you know, minute 20 on the clock, and Storm have burned a lot of time without any real progress.
I know, a lot of time been burned already. A minute and a half coming into this current round here with so much, but doesn't mean that they can't have something happen here. But Farah, again, so much health, you know, taken out already. It's so much shots coming out there is Quizwiz and Dora Sniper barely surviving their engagements here. We're now down to this, dare I say, like 2, 3.5 versus 4 players, 3.5 players. I don't even know how to allocate those half healths there. So much damage done in this round.
Ooh.
Oh!
Man with a foot with a nice double nade there. Rest in peace, Tucker and Shadow. We'll be seeing you in the next round as you have been blown to smithereens, and Pishy's going to be taken out with the help of that incendiary. Reem finds Dora, and just like that, Crazy Monkey now in a 1 versus 5. So Stormwatchers finally getting this, and then Man with a Foot swings right in there. A flawless round, and they're up 6-1. So we might be seeing a 7-1 blowout unless Storm just absolutely throw out this next round.
Flawless on a pistol round's kind of actually insane, but I gotta give it up. Its utility was king that round. We saw, I think, 1, 2, 3 utility picks that round, I believe, from the Stormwatch players. But I got to give it up also to the tenacity. I mean, the amount of players with, I think, less than half health or even less than quarter health still surviving out the round. Kind of insane. Kind of crazy. Almost unheard of. Almost. Like, that's something I almost kind of expect out of the top tier players, right? Where they're so good at dodging left and right and getting so much survivability out of those rounds. But, I mean, look at Stormwatch doing that now.
All right. Yeah, no, I mean... they're going for all spectrals though. I mean, wouldn't you ideally just like force into this one as hard as you can?
What do you force into though?
Like
we only have like 100, right? Look at Crazy Monkey, right? Never mind, they have a Viper.
No, I mean I'm talking like Storm. Like they're going all spectrals. They won the last round.
I mean they have another 6 rounds, right?
They have another but I mean you could just keep. Oh wow. Okay, nice save, Dora. You found Preem right away, so I mean, I guess maybe Storm knows something that I don't, but I mean, I feel like you're 6-1. You really just want to end this one, and you just want to go all out with your money. But you know, again, maybe playing it careful is the move.
Yeah, I get it. Like Stormwatch, they've seen this team come back. Oh gosh, as Man with a Foot getting knocked down by Crazy Monkey there, and a lot of trip mine damage coming out there. And on top of that, the incendiary is somehow being dodged by Quizwiz as they throw that syringe to help out their teammate there in the end. But now this is a 3v5 situation. It did not develop well for Stormwatch. And this is maybe why they might have played conservative, because they just don't know what's going to happen here as Farah gets knocked on the refrag. Jolly Rancher getting that pick off, though. Now coming out just the 3. Never mind, Jolly Rancher's king as they got another shot off of Dora Sniper. A 2v2 situation developing at this point for Stormwatch. This isn't out of the question. I will say it's a little bit of an uphill battle considering the SMGs in hand for the God Squad players.
Right, but even then, like, you have a minute 18. You could very well rotate if you wanted to. I mean, you know, unbeknownst to Stormwatchers, there's really not any util over on the A site. And, you know, I feel like this would be a perfect rotate call. I mean, you've made so much noise in B. But, you know, they're going to go for the cheeky EMP play. But Jolly Rancher just taking a lot of damage, and just like that, gets taken out by Pishy there. And so, Gods, they live for another round, but, you know, Storm, they're going to be set up pretty for the next rounds. So maybe, again, them full saving here wasn't the worst, or spectral saving, I should say, wasn't the worst call, because now they're going to all have rifle money, especially with getting that EMP plant. But, you know,
honestly, I think a bad IGL call, though, if anyone had made that call there, because I think you're right. They could have gone for the switch up. They could have honestly banked this round. We'd be done potentially right now. We might be done 7-2 right now. You know, or 7-1. Sorry. And Stormwatch played a little bit differently that round, and I think, you know, we saw them go for a cheeky plant there, a little too risky of a plant, to be quite honest, going onto a site like that, not knowing where anyone on site is either, right? They had no knowledge. So I always feel like cheeky plants, you either have a large amount of players, a lot of utility to back you up, or you know exactly where all the players are on that site, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, now we have a second floor play, and we did see last time we were on the second floor, we did see it come down to a 1 versus 1. But I mean, Storm, they have the weapons advantage here. All Vezins, all Maruis, and then we only have one singular Vezin and 2 Arls onto the God Squad side. So, you know, they're going to have to make the most of everything else they got with their utility and whatnot. They're not going to have that one headshot advantage. So we'll see here. But Jolly Rancher going to be holding the angle here, and oh my god, it's so funny seeing the outlines. Like you just want him to pre-fire, but you know, obviously he doesn't know that those players are there. That's one of those caster all-knowing things that we and you can see. But you know, nevertheless, we're going to see a little bit of pre-fire exchange and the wall blown open. A nice molly onto the island there. Ooh, Shadow taking a little bit of damage there, but you know, they have a stim, or will be granted a stim. So, ooh, never mind. They're just gonna pass away there as Man with a Foot lays him out with a murder. Nade gonna be going out, but actually lands in the corner of the B-site room. So, oh, there's another incident there. Jolly Rancher and Crazy Monkey gonna be trading out kills there. And so Tucker finding a nice one on the team there as he tries to cross there. Quiz does find Tucker. So again, Storm really getting their trades here. And again, we're on a 2 versus 2. Jolly Rancher finds one, and just like that, Storm Watchers are gonna take the round and take map number 3.
Oh man, talk about long earning a win there, as they really held that one out. That was Stormwatch winning in the end against the God Squad players, and I wasn't sure how well they would play on that last map. Right? We saw such a close games, you know, double overtime at this point. I wish we had gotten the third, but you know, I'm not that mad at you, Stormwatch. It's okay. It's okay to win out 7-2. But a part of me wishes we went for the OT there, because both teams had just played so well against each other. But God Squad definitely struggling to play against Stormwatch on Hideout. Hideout felt definitely more like the Stormwatch map for sure there.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. I mean, definitely when it came to like how the connoisseur vote was of 20-2, that felt like what the connoisseurs expected to see. But those first 2 games, I mean, man, those were some crazy games overall.
Yeah, they went back and forth. I didn't know what to expect, and I loved it. I loved seeing a double OT for my first overtime season match. So thanks to God Squad and Stormwatch for making it definitely an entertaining game. But before we sign out here, I did want to give a quick shout out to the creators on the VRML team, and of course the mods. If you ever want to get involved in what we do behind the scenes, which is creating content, casting games, or helping with moderation, we're always accepting applications for more volunteers. So please head over to the Breachers VRML Discord server and submit an application if you're ever interested. But anyways, thanks for coming out and watching another VRML Breachers cast. We appreciate seeing you all here today. And remember to subscribe and leave a like. It's greatly appreciated. Hopefully, we'll see y'all in the next cast.
Breachers VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager, Triangle Factory. Thanks for watching VRML.